whips below 1, just outstanding.
Because it's a pair of aces, we should not be surprised that Peyton Gottschall is getting the start here in Game 1 of the series tonight, Michelle.
Well, we know that LSU is prepping for that velocity that Carlin Pickens brings, but you're right, a little bit of a different look here. Karen Weekly starting Peyton Gottschall instead of Pickens.
See the numbers for Gottschall on the season, making her 13th start, 1.19 earned run average. Opponents hitting 172 against her this season. Gorgeous night here in Knoxville, 75 degrees at first pitch. There have been showers dancing around the area, but the sun is out right now as we start this 3-game series here in Knoxville. Fouled off by Mackenzie Rudity, who is in the leadoff spot for the 4th straight game, and Ciara Briggs has been the top hitter as of late for this LSU team.
Leads the team in batting average, and we talked about how many players in this lineup can produce, but Ciara Briggs has been their best, 24 hits. Leads all the SEC.
Grounded to second. That's Destiny Rodriguez over to Kotzianopoulos at first. One down here in the first. Tell us a little bit more about the starter for Tennessee tonight, Michelle.
Well, she's got just that elite spin. She's going to be in the mid-60s, but she's got a curveball on both sides of the plate, and when you really see her move the ball through the zone, you know, she's just a ton of fun to watch. And you know, so LSU is going to need to be prepared for the way that she can throw that curveball through the zone, but she'll also mix in an off-speed, which is a little bit different than what she was throwing last year, so those are good changes for her.
See the scattering report with that deceptive spin. You'll see the ball moving both sides. Facing Briggs at 369 on the season. Has some good speed. This is for a ball. It's 1-1. Briggs was 2 for 9 in the Auburn series. As Michelle mentioned, Gottschall was outstanding for Tennessee against Mississippi State. Got the start in Game 2, went the distance. That is going to be out of play. 3-hit start in Game 2 and then came on relief in Game 3, went 3 2/3. Didn't give up a hit against a Mississippi State team that can really swing the bats.
They can bash. In fact, they got off to a really hot start against Pickens. You could tell they were prepped for that velocity that Pickens brings.
Briggs to third. Going across the diamond is Boo Gibson to Kotzianopoulos, 2 down. Pickens has been really the talk of the SEC in many ways because she throws so hard. She's been so good. She's been so dominant. But Gottschall with that great performance in Starkville. And as you said, you got 1A, 1B. Tonight, the 1A is Gottschall getting the start over Pickens.
Well, there's no doubt LSU prepared for Pickens, and they knew they were going to face both, so it's not a huge surprise. It's not like they're coming in not expecting to face Peyton at some point, but you know, watching them pregame, the velocity was something that they were gearing up for. That's what Pickens, one of the hardest throwers in the country.
Back to the box, off the bat of Allie Newland, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Peyton.
3 passes this year.
She will face a Tennessee lineup that has 9 right-handed bats in the starting lineup, led by, of course, Kiki Malloy. Swung on a miss for strike 1. Malloy in her familiar leadoff spot after missing the Georgia series. Came back to play against Mississippi State last weekend.
She's
Berzon ahead in the count 0-2.
not only one of the best players on this team, she's one of the best players in this country. I mean, Kiki Malloy, regardless injury, numbers, and I know they're not exactly where she even wants them to be now, but she is a threat always.
She has had her struggles against the LSU starter. 0 for 5 in her career with 3 strikeouts as she steps in to get things going for Tennessee here in the first. And she is hit by a pitch. The leadoff is aboard, and she is a threat to steal.
She just has so much speed. 21, stolen bases on the year for Kiki Malloy.
This is a Tennessee team that is 5th in the SEC with 46 successful stolen bases and 52 attempts. I think Karen Weekly mentioned to it a little bit this week. This is a team that can't hit extra bases, can't hit the home run, but using a little small ball, using their speed a little bit, trying to put some pressure on the opponents with their legs and a little small ball.
They have so many athletes. I mean, that's the thing, is being able to show off that athleticism. In the past, it's been a lot of slug, and now it's a lot of everything.
I think that's the thing that's important in Division I softball. You have to be diverse. You have to figure out different ways to score. You have to figure out as a pitcher different ways to get people out. If you're predictable, people will shut you down. There's just too much tape on everyone nowadays.
Boo Gibson, a great example of that, throughout her career, being able to make those adjustments.
Tap foul at the plate, and it's 1-2. Gibson leading the team at 367 on the season. 36 RBI leads the team. 16 of her 36 RBI have come in the 15 SEC games. She's kept it going in the SEC. 360 in SEC play. The 1-2. There goes Malloy. It's in the dirt, and she'll take second standing up. 22nd stolen base of the season for Kiki.
She's just so powerful. I mean, watching her get to second base, it almost feels like it's 5 strides.
I was going to say, how many strides does it take Kiki Malloy to get to second base? Not many. Gibson swung on a miss. Strikeout number 1 for Berzon. One down here in the first. And here comes Beth Torina out to the circle for an early conversation.
Go upstairs if she needs to, off speed. The rise ball in this game, Smitty, gets so much love, but those pitchers that can execute a well movement drop ball, like Sydney Berzon, that's why she has success.
She's really a jack of all trades. I mean, there's nowhere that you can't look through the zone because she can attack it all, and so it's tough.
2-0 the count to Zeta Pooney.
And she's doing that. She is spinning a lot of pitches. So she's throwing a rise ball in the high 60s and then an off-speed rise ball at 60 miles an hour. She'll do the same thing with a drop. She has her hard drop and she has her off-speed drop. So she's throwing multiple speeds.
There's strike 1, 3-1.
So look at them, all the different velocities. The changeup is going to be in the 50s. The rise ball is more spinny in the 60s. The drop ball's in the high 60s, approaching 70 miles an hour at times. We have seen her light up the gun.
But she'll hit like 60 on the rise ball as well. So if she can get that pitch up into the mid-60s, she'll manipulate the movement on one pitch. And that's going to miss barrels.
(3-2) to Zeta Pooney is in the dirt. 2 aboard here with 1 down for Tennessee in the first.
A couple of free passes, and that's one area that Berzon had been really working on this year. So hit by pitch, and the walk here in the first inning has something going for Tennessee.
28th walk issued this season by Berzon, and here is Riley West, cleanup hitter at .352 with 9 home runs. Ball 1. 6 Tennessee hitters in the starting lineup have at least 7 home runs on the season. Collectively, 64 long balls for Tennessee. That's second in the SEC. 1-1. West was 3 for 9, double, a couple of runs batted in the Mississippi State Series. This is back to the pitcher. She'll just get the easy way at first, second and third now with 2 down for Tennessee.
And that's a play for Sydney Berzon that she needs to go back and probably look at. That's potentially a double play that ends the inning, but you've got to know that ahead of time. Something hit back to me hard, especially with all the right-handed hitters, thinking an opportunity to go to Taylor Pleasance, who's kind of up the middle. So right here immediately, she's got plenty of time to turn that into a double play, but instead runners at second and third.
She didn't even flinch. She went right to first.
I think she thought there were 2 outs. She knew where the runners were.
Sophia Nugent steps in with 2 outs. That's out of play. 0-2. Nugent taking over a catcher for Tennessee this year. Katsoyanopoulos, who is not a natural catcher, played the position a season ago. Sophia coming over from Oklahoma. She's been good with runners in scoring position this season, trying to do it with 2 outs. This is chopped, this is trouble, but Pleasance makes the hard plays look easy. So natural, stepped in and got the tag to retire the side.
Peyton Gottschall's, you talked about the movement and the spin, but how she competes. I mean, Karen Weekly has talked at length about this. She almost doesn't do well, like if it's a 6-0 game. Like those are sometimes when she gives up the most runs. But when it is on the line, and we've seen it at the World Series, the fist pumps, the emotion, she kicks it up a whole nother notch, and her velocity comes up.
1-1 to Raylene Gutierrez leading off for LSU here in the top half of the second inning. Gutierrez, Pleasance, and Petty to face Gottschall. Gutierrez 325 on the season. 1-2.
And just when you start looking at the knees for that curveball, she'll sneak that rise ball in and get you to chase.
Out of play.
And it's interesting, too, because with her curveball, her chase rate is only around 20%, but with her rise ball, her chase rate is up near 47%. So it just tells you that a lot of hitters are looking down, and then she throws something up in their eyes, and she'll chase you out of the zone.
Well, great pitch calling, the sequencing to get there.
Yeah.
2-2. You mentioned about pitching better when facing a challenge, because Karen Weekly said that again this week. She can slide a little bit if things aren't dialed up, but I think things are dialed up here in this series against the top 10 team. You know it, and you're getting the start here in game 1 of the series. Again, Pickens has usually been the game 1 starter in the series, so Gottschall thrown into the fire here in game number 1, which might fire her up a little bit.
You know it does. I mean, she's someone that walks out to hard rock.
That is slapped out to left. Making the catch is Riley West at the shoe tops. 1 down.
Your average outfielder is going to have to at least dive for this to make this play. It looks like a base hit all the way off the bat. But Riley West, we talked about the athleticism of Tennessee. I mean, she just gets a great jump read on this. Doesn't even have to leave her feet to make that grab.
Strike 1 to Taylor Pleasance. Pleasance now hitting 5th in the lineup for LSU, one of the best players in the country, struggling at the plate in SEC play. Little change of scenery maybe helping her find her eye at the plate again. 1-1.
She's still, though, the player you circle. Like Tennessee, when they're going over scouting reports, they're going over video. It's this player right here. You're circling that she cannot beat you.
Two and 1. To that point, Beth Torina talked about the fact that she doesn't think there's a hitter who's been pitched harder than Taylor Pleasance because she's at the top of the scouting report. That's the one player that they are just locked in, making sure she doesn't beat you. There's a strike. It's 2-2.
That's what comes with being one of the best. I mean, her numbers of her past have proved that. Now a senior, and I know it's not the number she wants her senior year right now, but she's still the bat. She still can swing it.
This is popped up on the infield. Calling for it is Mueller, the shortstop, 2 down.
Well, and that's the thing she's been doing a lot of this year is the fly out. She's getting the ball elevated, 52nd fly out of the year for Taylor Pleasance, opposed to just 27 ground balls. So a little bit of a angle underneath the ball.
2 outs for Carly Petty. Petty at .325 on the season. Gottschall starts with strike one. Petty was 2 for 8 with a home run in the Auburn series. Lays off 1-1.
So many lefties in this lineup. You couldn't have more opposite. Tennessee all right-handed. They're 8 of 9 lefties.
They're almost completely opposite programs.
Yes.
Their numbers are similar, except their batting lineups are all right-handed versus almost all left-handed.
And the way they score their runs, and I mean, they're very, very different, but they'll figure out a way to get it done.
In on the hands, a blooper back behind first. The call by Rodriguez calling off Katsoyanopoulos.
It's kind of how it's been. I mean, every conference weekend, there's no assumptions, especially to win every game in a series. I feel like is so much more rare now to completely sweep.
And the difference between that team that is in the 13th spot to the first spot, I mean, they can still compete.
Yep.
It's not like, oh, we're going to go in there and just sweep the series. I mean, it's.
As a result, 10 SEC teams are in the top 21 in RPI. This one is hit to center field. Under it is Briggs, one away as Panel is retired, the first out here of the second.
Just wait till next year. Yeah, just
What's
Oklahoma.
happening next year? Oh, that's right. That's next year. That's
Texas.
Oklahoma team.
I heard they're pretty good.
Texas, they're number 1 right now. I mean, both those programs coming into the SEC.
Destiny Rodriguez with 1 down. Ball 1 to the sophomore who plays second base.
It's going to make that SEC tournament even more exciting. Already is pretty much a winning World Series.
We're going to up the excitement level. That's right. 2-0. Berzon had to work a little bit in the first inning. Hit Malloy, struck out Gibson, walked Pooney. West with a ground ball back to the pitcher that could have been 2. And it looked like that inning ended with Tennessee running into an out. They didn't have to because there were runners on second and third, but Pleasance put the tag on Pooney.
It was a gift.
You're being, I was trying to be a little generous.
No.
But the ex-player, the All-American, is going to be a little bit more direct.
It was very much a thank you for running into my fielder.
3-1 to Rodriguez. 3-2.
Both these teams taking a lot of pitches too. Seen a lot of taking strikes, getting deep into the count.
Grounded to third under the glove of the freshman Daniel. Pleasance backing it up in time. Right away, Tennessee calling for the challenge, and Karen Weekly. Jackie Kirkpatrick running at first base for Tennessee as Julia Katsoyanopoulos steps in.
We talk a lot about some of the injuries that have really affected LSU in their batting lineup. But it has been defense as well.
Daniel throws over to first. The sacrifice successful by Katsoyanopoulos. 2 down with Kirkpatrick moving to second.
It's interesting that you're right back, to Daniel. Exactly. You would think maybe swing away with the 1 out.
Well, especially because you got your 9-hitter coming up. Julia has a lot of power, but to make it 2 outs, I get it. Nobody on.
Well, in this Tennessee lineup, the number 9 hitter is hitting .324 with 7 home runs. It's Laura Mueller, swings at the first pitch, back to Berzon, and that will do it for Tennessee in the second. Eye on this LSU team every year for what they've done in the past, but trying to get to Oklahoma City this year.
Yeah, it's incredible to think it's been 6 years of drought without them at the World Series. That 2017, there were 3 years in a row, too, that they made it to the World Series. I used to think about that. It felt like only a couple of years ago, but time is flying. And you know it's a flashback when you're showing shorts and knee pads. The last time when.
We used to say if something came up like a black and white photo, but now it's like, well, shorts and knee pads.
Oh.
Yes,
color,
that's bringing it back.
It's
Way back.
That's a throwback.
2 decades.
Tried to check, could not, and a strikeout for Gotchel went away here in the third as Bajaran's retired.
Gotcha with that spinny rise ball at the top of the zone. A lot of good setup at the lower half, and then just gets Bajaran to bite at that pitch up in the zone. And again, that's her chase. That's her chase pitch. Almost 50% of the time she's getting hitters to chase that pitch out of the zone.
And you do not get LSU as a team to chase it very often. That's just the 117th batter that has struck out this year, by far the lowest in the SEC. They make contact, they don't strike out a ton.
No, and 175 walks on top. So they're walking far more than they're striking out, and those are good numbers.
This one is hit down to foul ground in right field, and Hannah Carson is retired. 2 down as Panel got there. 3 ground ball outs, 4 fly ball outs, and a strikeout for Gotchel so far. Number 9 hitter Sierra Daniel steps in. There's ball 1. Michelle, you started to talk about it when LSU was in the field last inning, trying to make up for the loss to Danica Coffey. Outstanding third baseman, leadoff hitter who suffered an ACL injury on March 2nd. Maddox McKee's played at third base. She's a freshman. Now Sierra Daniel has that spot at third base. She's a freshman for LSU.
Yeah, some great young talent, but irreplaceable, maybe is the word for Coffey on both offense and defense.
Yeah, she's one of those players that you need like 2 truckloads coming out to be able to even try to replace the athlete, the player that she is, and the leader too.
100%.
This is slap 2 short. Mueller to first. The bottom half of the third inning, top of the lineup for Tennessee, and that means Kiki Malloy, who was hit by a pitch her first time. 65 home runs in her career, 9 coming this year, as the grad student gets set to go.
She is just stop what you're doing and watch her at bats. Watch her play the game, period. Oh,
First pitch, fouls it off.
she's one of my favorite players to watch.
All right, let us count the ways. You can go any way you want. What do you like the most about what Kiki does? Besides everything, Jess. I know where you're going.
She's a
That's a line drive. Glove by Petty on the first. Great play defensively to rob Malloy of a base hit. One away.
That's a great example of how you can get her out. I mean, you got to make a Sports Center type play
Your web gem.
because of the exit velocity, how hard she hits the ball. This is just her opposite field, and I'll tell you what, Carly Petty doing an excellent job. Ball hit to her left, timing that up right.
And that exit velocity was 69 miles an hour. Typically, they say if you're 69, 70 miles an hour, it's a base hit. But I guess Petty showing it's got to be 71 miles an hour to get it past me.
Or just don't hit it near her.
Yeah, that was a great play.
Boo Gibson struck out in the first. That's it on the hands. A bit of a squib for Petty. She makes that look easy. 2 down.
Different types of play for Petty, and she's making them both look easy.
Yeah, just go ahead and clip that off for second baseman and be like, you want to see the versatility, especially in softball? Now someone needs to lay down a drag bump. She's got to come over and defend get first base.
Just to fill out the bingo card. Let's see what happens with Pooney at the plate. Ball 1. It's just the 5th pitch of the inning for Berzon. I thought things were going quick with Gotchel in the circle, but Berzon.
Crazy. I know I was getting excited to talk more about Malloy, and bam, she was out.
Yeah.
I know. If you set me up,
Jess won't forget that, though.
No.
It's not like you forget Kiki Malloy.
we get a whole weekend of her, so I
true.
will be talking her up. Absolutely.
She's close to becoming the all-time stolen base leader, right? She's the home run leader at
Yeah.
Tennessee. She's just a couple stolen bases away from being the.
She'll do it this weekend,
Yeah.
maybe. We'll see.
2-1 the count now to Zeta Pooney, who walked her first time. That's why they have netting down there. It's 2-2.
Not for Karen Weekly, man. She was. It was still about 6 feet from her, but she was. She took about 5 steps further back. I am not going to stand in the coach's box anymore.
Swung on and missed. Berzon gets the strikeout. That is her. You probably, right?
Well, I love it when LSU's winning.
Oh, you're so selfish.
Yeah, but two pitchers duels. We're making sure we fit in the time slot tonight. We're really going through this thing quick here tonight.
The
but
programming department thanks you.
Two really good pitchers going against each other. So yes, the pitching coach in me loves to see it.
What were you just telling Sydney? You were talking to her at length before you grabbed the mic.
I think she's doing a good job, just continuing to mix speeds, be all around the zone, just moving their eyes. I think she's doing a good job. She knew she thought she made a mistake, but got saved by Carly there. So we were laughing about it. So that's why you have a defense, and that was a great play.
Okay, I just heard that Tatum, Taryn, and Tenley are all watching right now. Your 3 girls. What do you got to say for them?
Oh, I hope they are. I hope they are. I miss them. I wish they were here with us. So they're killing it on their own team. The 10U Mudbugs, they're killing it.
The Mudbugs.
Shout out to the 3
All right.
T's. I love it.
Beth, we're out of
Thanks,
time.
Beth.
I can't ask you questions about coaching Jess in her pro days. We'll
No.
save that
Yep.
for later in the
Oh,
weekend.
I'm ready. I'm
okay,
ready.
tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Thanks,
Thank
Beth.
you.
Appreciate it. Do you want to get out in front of that, by the way, Jess? Because Beth was a coach for you in your pro days, and already we are at pregame and we're hearing some stories.
She's
So
got
do you want to get the first word? She's got nothing. Oh, well. Write myself a note. First question to Beth tomorrow.
It's
I
See
had
if she's got
fun.
nothing.
It's fun to play for a coach that you're within a couple of years in age of. So I enjoyed playing for Beth, but learning a ton from her as a player. And she was recently retired, and being able to talk shop with her and her husband, Nick. Those 3 girls we just talked about. I had my first son then, too, so it was cool.
awesome. The Mudbugs. I like that.
Mudbugs, right? Best.
Oh, Mudbugs.
That is a
All on the
Louisiana
same team,
team,
by the way.
name through and through, right?
Is that a real bug?
Mudbug?
Isn't that what they call crawfish? I don't know. Is that another sign for?
Oh,
Or am I way off?
We're going to find this out.
We're gonna
Wow.
get the Google machine.
I'm sure someone's going to be texting you within the next 10 seconds.
or they're gonna
Like,
at
how
me
did
on
you
the-
not know?
I think it's an outstanding name, whatever it is.
Top of the order for LSU, Rudity to lead things off. Two and one to Mackenzie, who grounded to second in the first. This is her 4th game in the leadoff spot. 4th different leadoff hitter for LSU since Coffey's injury. 2 and 2. Seven-game on-base streak for Rudity, hitting .454 in that stretch, leading the team overall this season with a .460 on-base percentage. This one is hit well to left field and carrying. West drifting back to the track that puts it away for out number 1.
That is a great play because of where she started. I mean, a lot of times it's about that first step, and when you get outfielders, they don't always react to go back. Look at, she's pulled in towards the line, and she drop steps going back. You got a wall there. She makes it look easy, but again, the athleticism of Tennessee, beautiful job. We've already seen her come in and make a grab off her toes.
Briggs slaps it to left. This will hang up in the air. Another one for West to put it away, and quickly 2 down.
You get a lot of action in left field when you're facing a heavy left-handed lineup. You're kind of ready for all of it. And they've got some short game in there, too, so you're going to see Riley West busy over her head, in front of her.
It's just a different read coming off that lefty bat, right? You got to make sure you know. That spin is going to the line. Is it going in the gap? Mostly toward the line. If it's struck from the left side.
Fouled off by Ali Newland, who grounded back to the pitcher in the first.
Mudbug is a crawfish. Just
Okay.
everybody. Smitty nailed it.
All right. Awesome.
Did you have to do the search, or did you have people bombarding you with Mudbug?
No, I asked the team, the Mudbugs. I said, what are you?
Oh, you have a oh, you went right to the source. Oh.
Please tell me more.
That's next level analysis. I want to see a logo. Can they take a photo of that for us?
Ask for that. Get it to our trucks.
Because if it looks really good,
continues.
maybe they can send us some hats. We can wear them by Sunday afternoon. 1-2 now, the count to Newland. Two and two.
A couple of really close pitches around the zone.
Gotcha laughing it off. Working quickly again, Newland fouls it off.
I love the way that she attacks inside. And Smitty, you've talked about this with the curveball both sides of the plate, but a lot of times it's getting that pitch in. Such a heavy lefty lineup. So you got to establish that inside part of the plate.
Absolutely, and not afraid. A lot of pitchers are afraid to throw inside to lefties, right-handed pitchers that is, because you've got to be able to control those pitches. Control the zone, not leave it in the zone.
Grounded over the circle, moving over and making the play is Mueller. Tell us about the thought process. I mean, she has pitched so well for you, Karen. You've got two aces. How about her getting a start here in game one?
You know, it's many a Friday night I've thought about flipping them because I do feel like, you know, she's just as much of a Friday night starter ace as Carlin. And I just felt like this was the time to do it. You know, they really worked the count, and Peyton's really, really good at pounding the zone.
And Coach, that last play, Laura Mueller goes back up the middle. How important has she been for you at shortstop?
Oh, huge. You know, we lost Bella Faw about 4 weeks ago, and thank goodness we had another really good shortstop on our team. And at that time, Laura was playing every position in the infield. And what I'm really proud of on that play, that's a ball 2 weeks ago she let the second baseman take, and she learned from it. So you love to see when your athletes learn something.
Especially as shortstops. Thanks, Karen. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Karen Weekly having great success again this season as Tennessee's head coach, of course, won the SEC regular season title and tournament title last year. And here they are in first place and ranked 4th in the country entering play here this weekend. Pitching, hitting, defense. It's a winning formula. They've got it all. 4, 5, and 6 for Tennessee against Berzon. So Sydney had a little bit of a bumpy ride in that first inning, but since then, smooth sailing for the LSU starter.
Yeah, she's been rolling some ground balls, had some good defense behind her. One little hiccup over at a third, the error, but otherwise, I mean, she's been outstanding, really attacking the zone. She's got that good velocity in the upper 60s, but really just mixing speeds, and because of that, missing barrels.
Yeah, it's not always about the swing and miss. Pitchers get so caught up in, you know, how do I get the strikeout? But really, if you trust your defense.
Ground it back up the middle. Pleasance can't get this, and that's the first hit of the ball game for either team. It's a leadoff single for Riley West here in the 4th.
This is just strength powering this through. We talked about the locations Berzon's been able to do. She actually jams Riley West on this. Watch her come inside. But Riley West just so strong. Able to muscle this up the middle, get it past the defenders.
Strike one to Sophia Nugent. Nugent was at the plate when Tennessee had that threat going in the first. They had second and third and 2 downs. Grounded to Pleasant, who tagged Pooney, who was heading to third. That's line foul. It's 0-2.
That's where Berzon's just so tough, because she comes at you in the high 60s and then drops down that off speed to 60 miles an hour, gets you out in front and fouls it off.
So Chris Malveaux, the hitting coach for Tennessee, having a quick chat with Nugent.
You almost want to try to be late if you're facing her so you don't end up out in front.
Oh, and 2 to Nugent.
Yeah, and just to your point, you know, when you're facing a pitcher that's throwing multiple speeds, I agree 100%. I'd rather be late than be early, because you challenge the pitcher so much more when you're late and you're able to sit on the slower stuff and react to the harder stuff.
We'll do the 1-2 again.
And when you're early like that as a pitcher, you just kind of
yeah.
salivate because you're like, oh, okay, she's more susceptible to the off speed now. I can keep dumping it down in the dirt and get them to chase.
Another foul ball. Sophia's got a fan club. Let's see if she can deliver. Another 1-2. That's sent up at the fan club. They got a duck. Last Friday night, Tennessee was run-ruled by Mississippi State. 9-1 was the final. They had 3 errors in that game. Look out down the line. But they bounced back after that game, and Karen Weekly talked about how it just wasn't a Tennessee-level performance, and she said she was worried all week before that Friday night game because of where we are. You're in the middle of it. It's the grind of the season. You've played a hard non-conference, and now you're in the middle of this tough SEC season. So I don't know if she saw a run rule loss, but she saw something that probably was going to have to serve as a wake-up call, which it did.
Yeah. Those are definitely wake-up calls. Those are the losses that you remember as the season drags on, and you're like, remember what that felt like walking, back to the bus or leaving the field. Those are the things that can inspire you to get through a SEC tournament, a regional, or super regional.
In the dirt, there goes the runner, and in safely with a stolen base.
That's a good read by Riley West to be able to see that down in the dirt. Sometimes as a base runner, you've got to be able to read the pitch angle, know when you're going to be able to take advantage of a ball that's going to be hard to. There you go, and you can see it immediately. Doesn't turn her hips, just continues down, knows that that's going to be a hard pitch to throw on.
Good at bat by Nugent. That was the 10th pitch, so an 11th coming, and she's worked the count full. We've seen our share of very quick at-bats in this game for both teams. Here's a long one right here. 3-2. Grounded off the glove of the third baseman again. Everyone's going to be safe. First and third for Tennessee with nobody out.
And again, going back to Danica Coffey being injured, not only does that hurt LSU being out of the leadoff spot, but also that senior leadership at that third base position. And Sierra Daniels done a great job as a freshman, but this is probably a play that Coffey would make going into that 5-6 hole, just knowing where she needs to be, where the ball's being pitched. This is something that's a playable ball by Daniel. It might go down as a base hit, but those are the little places where you're really seeing that Danica Coffey not being in the lineup hurts LSU.
Fouled off by Panel for strike one. They do score it a hit, but it was definitely playable.
Oh, and that was just a great at-bat by Sophia Nugent the whole way around. I mean, battle, 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 and then punched it through, so kudos to her as well.
Panel looking to bunt. It's a ball. It's 1-1.
You can tell the adjustments that Lady Vols are making the second time through the lineup, seeing Bergeron, knowing exactly what they're hunting, which is tough off of her because she has a lot of tools.
Panel slices it foul.
They're shortening up a lot. I think that's how they're able to adjust the different speeds. And you look at the 2 hits this inning, they weren't hit hard. They were just put in play, finding holes.
The 1-2. Grounded to short. Pleasance off the glove of the second baseman. That will be an error, and that's a run for Tennessee. 1-0 Lady Vols. In a top 10 showdown, you have to be clean, you have to be nearly perfect, and LSU has been anything but. 1-0 Tennessee.
Ouch, and that's the second error on paper, but a couple of plays this inning the defense needs to make. And Taylor Pleasance is going to look back, make sure West stays, but then that throw over to Carly Petty, I think Petty potentially could have caught that.
That wasn't a bad throw. Ball
1 to Rodriguez. So it is an error on Petty at second base. Second error of the game. One and one. Correction, ball 2-0. So West scores. Nugent at second, nobody out. Tennessee with a chance to add to it here. Ground in, off the glove of the third baseman again. They'll wave the runner around. Here comes Nugent. The throw goes to third. It's not in time. 2-0 Tennessee, and LSU hurting themselves here in Knoxville.
We saw this against the series against Ole Miss, where LSU came apart defensively. Already third error in this game. This is a ball that definitely needs to be fielded cleanly, and it just is going to get right past. You can see the setup of her feet just out in front. It goes off of Daniel's glove. No way for Taylor Pleasance, because of her momentum going towards third. No way for her to be able to go back and make that stop.
You know when you're struggling, the ball's going to find you.
Yeah.
There's just no question, and that's what's happening right now for LSU.
All the ground balls have been hit to the left side, so that's where the errors have been happening. And, you think about Sydney Berzon right now. She's grinding. She's throwing good pitches. These are ground balls that she needs to trust will be made behind her.
Third three-error game of the season for LSU. All have come in SEC play. Katsoyanopoulos sacrificed her first time. This is lifted to left in foul ground. Newland moving over and just out of her reach.
Things start to unravel as a pitcher. If you're not a power pitcher that's striking out at least 2 hitters an inning, it's tough to recover from defensive mistakes. And Berzon, she will strike out about 1 hitter per inning, but she rolls a lot of ground balls. She's really more pitch to contact than power pitching. So when defensive mistakes happen, they hurt her.
There's a strike, and it's 0-2. In the dirt, blocked by the catcher, Bajaran. I mean, to your point, Berzon's doing her job. She's getting ground balls. LSU should be out of this inning. Instead, nobody out, 2 runs in and 2 on.
Yeah.
That's the way Berzon's going to approach it now. Get the strikeout, 1 away.
Did you see too, Smitty? She kicked that up to 70 miles an hour. I mean, there's some fire now coming, okay?
Yeah.
I've been rolling the ground balls. My defense doesn't have behind me, so I am going to go for the swing and miss. Normally about 67, 68 with that pitch. Instead, sharp movement late, 70 miles an hour.
Laura Mueller grounded back to the pitcher her first time. Strike 1. Hitting 70 again. Beth Serena said she's been right around that 70-mile-per-hour mark, but dialing it up, you just sense here a little bit more with the defense letting her down. Popped up. This is a mistake, and Daniel there to take advantage. Mueller retired 2 down.
This is who they wanted to get up to bat, be able to get a chance in this inning. So many runners on the bases.
It is Malloy, who's 0 for 1, was robbed of a single her last time. Ball 1. That is hit hard, but foul.
That's what I like about Kiki too, is she can hit anything, make contact with anything. She's got good bat-to-ball skills, but she's got a good eye, understanding pitchers don't want to give her anything.
2-1. 3-1. The problem is, if you don't give Malloy anything and you give her a free pass, Boo Gibson's waiting in the wings. Rounded wide of third. Diving Daniel couldn't get it. Another run scores. 3-0 Tennessee. Malloy delivers her 21st RBI of the season.
Kiki Malloy just showing that leadership, 2 outs, and knowing that this is a big opportunity to put a couple more runs up on the board, and she gets this through the 5-6 hole, 3-1 count. She's selective. It's a little bit low, but she knows she can barrel it up. 3rd run of the game for the Vols.
Gibson fouls it off for strike 1.
Yeah, that hit for Kiki tells me she did not want to walk. I mean, she knew that was a pitch she couldn't drive, but she's strong enough. I mean, that pitch is low and outside. She got around it, hit it off the end of the bat, and look how quickly it got out of the infield.
Oh, 0-2 to Gibson. Grounded to second. Petty's got it on to first to retire the side. But that decision paying dividends here against LSU.
Well, it's great because they're both elite, really good caliber pitchers, but they attack hitters in different ways. It's all that velocity. So as hitters, you're just thinking speed, speed, barrel it up. And then with Gottschall, she's got all that spin speed. Yeah.
Especially to somebody, because the curveball, it looks good to hit. Rise balls also can look good to hit. I get it, but you understand the movement. It's different now when it's horizontal movement because it's something you're not preparing for.
Like that pitch right there. That is, not a lot of pitchers are confident throwing a curveball into this is a right-handed pitcher throwing a curveball into a left-handed hitter, and she's done it all night long. She's been masterful at it.
Gutierrez lined out to left her first time. Checked her swing. 2-2. Called strike 3. 1 away here in the 5th.
Just a great sequence of pitches. So curveball underneath the hands. She goes rise ball up that freezes her. She checks and then goes to the outer half to come back and get this. So look at the movement on this pitch as well and the location. I mean, she is just nasty on this pitch. You can just see that late sharp break. Really good job by Sophia Nugent to really frame that pitch up as well.
Almost run around the plate.
Second strikeout for Gottschall. She got Bajaran leading off the 3rd, and here's Pleasance, who popped a short her first time. This one is hit well to center field, but right at Kiki Malloy, 2 down. Three nothing Tennessee. Game 1 of this weekend series, matching up top 10 teams. LSU ranked 7th, Lady Vols ranked 4th. The Lady Vols first place in the SEC, defending their regular season title. Fly ball to right center field. This is back. This is Malloy to the track and bumps into the wall to put it away. 2-2.
That's the word I was looking for. Magnet.
Battle the A's. Arkansas and Alabama have almost identical logos.
That's
going
right.
Head to head.
You're going deep right now, aren't you?
Yeah, really rabbit holing.
I'll see your Battle of the A's and say battle of teams with high RPIs. 12 for Arkansas, 10 for Alabama. That's fouled off. That Georgia-Mizzou series, by the way, Georgia 6th in RPI, and as I mentioned, Mizzou 7th in RPI. And this is the time of year where those numbers are so important. Top 8, top 16, as we get closer and closer to May and the NCAA tournament.
I'm not going to lie, though. I'll be watching UCLA Stanford tonight. Late start there.
Now, why would you
10
do that?
o'clock p.m. We're talking battle of the RPIs and top 5 teams.
Grounded glove by Berzon on the first. One down as Pooney is retired. Actually, Sunday after we're done, Game 3 of that series, Stanford and UCLA on ESPN2. Here's the RPI. We talked about SEC, as always, well represented. 10 in the top 21, 6 in the top 10 in RPI.
And it's interesting because Florida is near the top of the standings, but their RPI is down at 17th. Young team. Their strength of schedule outside of the conference was a little bit lower this year. It's 111.
Which you could
last I looked.
understand.
Exactly.
With rebooting the pitching staff
Yes.
and having 2 freshman pitchers.
100%.
We'll see. It'll be interesting to see when selection show comes how that ends up hurting them.
Wes Singleton scored her last time. She's 1 for 2.
I think it's also interesting how coaches now approach the midweek games.
Yeah.
You know, always necessary to try to get some of your younger athletes experience. But nowadays, there's so many good mid-majors that you almost feel compelled to throw your ace because you drop a midweek game to a Wichita State, a Tulsa, North Texas, you know, you could go on and on. Charlotte, you feel like, ooh,
Yeah.
you know, when it comes selection time, it could hurt.
Well, and they're playing you with everything they've got.
100%.
So that's like a win for them that could actually get them into the postseason.
But you have like LSU playing Louisiana Lafayette.
Exactly.
15th in the RPI.
Yeah.
Beat them 4-2 this past Tuesday, and they play them again next week.
They always seem to match up in regionals.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think there's been two
Much to
teams
LSU's chagrin.
that have played each other more.
Yeah, I agree. I wish they, it's like fly them somewhere
So
else.
totally.
It's the same thing with Fresno State, though, and
Yeah,
some of those
San
California
Diego State,
teams.
yep.
This is blooped to second. Put away by Petty, and quickly 2 down here in the 5th. Well, you just get the feeling that Sydney Berzon deserves better than what the scoreboard shows right now. She's kept Tennessee from getting really solid contact throughout the lineup. There's been a couple of hard hit balls, but
There hasn't
mistakes in the field have been
been
the problem.
ball hit more than 60 miles an hour, though. I mean, yeah, like decently hit. I'm not saying it. They're soft little balls that are getting through, but
They're not
honestly,
squaring a lot up, no.
she has not give up hard contact where you're like, that was a legit in the gap base hit.
And that's kind of her MO, throwing all those different speeds. You know, she just does a good job of keeping the ball in the park. You know, she's only given up 5 home runs this year.
Sophia Nugent had a good at-bat against her last time up. 11 pitch at-bat, ended with a base hit. Nugent would come around to score the second Tennessee run. Down the count here, 0-2. As we showed you just a few moments ago, Game 2 of this series, ESPN2 tomorrow at noon. We would expect to see Carlin Pickens against Kelly Lynch. What'd she do last time? She threw a no-hitter against
No.
Auburn.
That's right.
Chop to Pleasance, throws on the run effortlessly. And that will...
We talked about it coming in, too. And Karen Weekly, you know, on our call this week said, man, does she step up in big games? And I think giving her the ball, as much as it was kind of downplayed, like, oh, they're both aces. Either one could take the ball. Let's pick Carlin Pickens on Friday nights. So the fact she gets it Friday night at home under the lights against LSU, she's like, heck yeah.
Yeah, right now she's saying, Coach, you made a good decision.
Yeah. I'm going to show you.
Exactly.
Well, she showed everybody against Mississippi State. Went 2-0 on the weekend, a .66 earned run average, 10 2/3 innings of work, just 1 walk, 13 strikeouts, and Mississippi State hit .086 against her. Popped up, left side of the infield, Gibson, 1 away.
Well, and normally it's advantage LSU because of all their lefties. I mean, you go this many lefties, 8 lefties in this lineup against a right-handed pitcher. That's a huge advantage. You're thinking, okay, we're going to be able to get to her. But the way that Peyton Gottschall has been able to use the curveball, especially getting in on the hands to these lefties, has been why she's had so much success.
1 away for Hannah Carson. Tap back to the mound. Gottschall with it. Quickly on the first, 2 down.
Love that. No hesitation. She goes and gets it and just fires it over to first.
I kind of held my breath because I saw her gearing up like this. This is coming
It's
hard.
a little too fast right here for a moment, right?
Well, she had tons of time too, but she's feeling it. And Smitty, you know this. Usually when you try to take something off is when you throw it away.
100%.
Just go ahead and fire it.
So 2 down here in the 6th. Oh, and 2 to Maddox McKee. Came on in the field for Sierra Daniel last inning.
Giving another freshman an opportunity. The errors defensively. Also being able to get into this lineup, make something happen.
The 0-2. McKee doesn't chase. 1 and 2. Did not give up a hit in relief in Game 3 of the series against Mississippi State. Pitched 3 2/3. This is hit well to left field. Moving back is West, and she has it to retire the side. Perfect. She'll in the dugout. Perfect through 6 innings. She does not strike me as the sort who will go sit by herself at the end of the bench and not talk to anybody. She's going to strike up conversations. She's got a dance party going on there.
She's saving her energy for sure.
Oh, yeah. She's in chill mode.
She's got a lash game going too.
Exactly.
She's engaging her teammates. Now, will some of her teammates start to kind of shy away from her a little bit?
See, I don't think that's a thing in softball. I think it's honestly, like, you'll see that so different because in baseball they are, well, even the whole game, they're, you know, sitting on the bench. They've got their own like trainer that they're talking to by the cooler. It's like, do not, just give them space regardless if it's something going on or not. Softball, it's like, be part of the team. That's what gets you going. Like, it almost make you worse if no one talked to you.
Like,
Why does nobody like me?
Wait,
Do I
has something
smell? What
happened
happened?
here?
Why is everyone secluding me or excluding me? Yeah,
She's just going to keep the party going in the dugout. Why not?
Right.
Why mess with a good thing?
Great pitch.
Cannell swing and a miss. Strikeout for Berzon. 1 away here in the 6th. Sydney Berzon's pitching a 3-hitter right now and giving up 3 unearned runs. LSU has answered the call, but no match so far for the perfect Gottschall. Tennessee does have a perfect game already this year, by the way. Carlin Pickens had a perfect game against Loyola Marymount at the Mary Nutter. So we talk about the dominance of this Tennessee staff, and Karen Weekly talked about it before last year. We need depth. We need to have quality depth. We need to be able to throw multiple arms. And well, there's the ace 1 of this staff, Carlin Pickens, and co-ace 1 in the circle tonight. And we're not even going 1A, 1B right now, Michelle. You got to go co-aces.
Absolutely. Well, and what's fun is that, you know, they're hard to prepare for because they are so different.
Yes.
They're so effective in each of them in their own ways.
Rodriguez with a ground ball to Petty. We talked about it before that LSU was preparing for Pickens, of course, she has been the Friday night starter. As a hitter, how does that mess with your mindset before a game where you're like, hang on a second, we're seeing someone else here? Even though you've prepared for that pitcher, for that moment you haven't prepared for her.
5-6 years ago, I don't think it matters. But now, because there's so much more information, preparation, I mean, these players are getting the night before on video, being able to visualize, being able to look at every single 2-1 count, 3-0 count. This is what she'll throw you. And then wait, erase all of that?
Gutierrez with the glove. Kotsayanopoulos is retired. 1, 2, 3.
To dominate.
Yeah, it's headbanging chaos in there, right? It's like, you know, and that's what she's doing to the hitter. She's causing chaos to LSU, and it's been her locations, absolutely, and her spin speed. I mean, she is just, her spin rate is crazy. It's almost 1,300 RPMs. Just turns the ball over so well, but locating it.
0-2 to Mackenzie Rudity. Grounded out to second in the first, fly to left in the fourth.
And Rudity's been one of the best hitters in the country at not swinging and missing this year, and she's already got her in a good position to potentially put her away.
1-2. Called strike 3, 1 out in the 7th.
Goncho after working the outside corner, comes with a curveball in the inner half, just well located. Has Rudity looking away and again hammering. Yeah, just hammering in that. And I love her passion and her emotion.
Here's LSU's leading hitter, Sierra Briggs, 369 on the season, entering play today, grounded to third in the first, lined out to left in the fourth. As a team, LSU third in the SEC and hitting at 318, hitless tonight against Peyton Gottschall.
The best play that we've seen defensively of an almost hit, closest to being a hit, was Sierra Briggs. Low line drive, perfect slap actually to left field. Riley West made a perfect catch right at her shoestrings, taking away that hit. So this is probably the batter that has any chance.
There's a strike, it's 2-1. The ball's been put in play, just the 3 strikeouts for Gottschall tonight. That Tennessee defense has been up to the challenge. LSU with 3 costly errors tonight, allowing Tennessee to score 3 times. 3-1 now to Briggs. Just the second 3-ball count of the night for Peyton Gottschall. Time called as Gottschall closer to second base than she is to the rubber right now.
She gets her steps in. Just every pitch, she'll walk out almost to second base, come back into the circle. And with a pitch clock now, that's, you
But
got
she
hustle.
still works quick.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy.
Three and 1 now to Briggs. Full count. Slap over the shortstop's head, and there's the first base runner of the night for LSU. With 1 out in the 7th, LSU breaks up the perfect game.
The best chance to do it. Sierra Briggs, we highlighted her in the beginning. Just perfect execution, honestly. 2 strikes, uses the ground. And oh man, you think about Laura Mueller, who had pulled in because of the short game. Otherwise, she would have been able to make that play easily.
Yeah, if she's at regulation depth, it's probably a ground out.
So LSU has a base runner. Let's see how Gotchel reacts. That's popped up foul and out of play. Strike one to Allie Newland. Grounded out twice tonight.
It's kind of how softball works too, is perfect games, no hitters always seem to get broken up on like a drag bunt, a slap hit that finds the hole.
There's a strike, it's 0-2.
And that's the pitch. If you are going to circle how she has been so successful tonight, it is that location. Pitch she just threw Allie Newland. Get any closer, you'll hit her.
One and two.
Yeah, and she had worked from ahead all night, and she got herself in a 3-1 count with Briggs, saw some more pitches, and then hammered that down. So it's all those.
Briggs was going to get something to hit, as Jess mentioned. Briggs is the one who's come closest before that at-bat. Ground ball through the right side, base hit, back-to-back hits for LSU, and they'll get the tying run to the plate here in the 7th inning. Allie Newland comes through with a solid single. She is responsible for the 2 base runners on, and she hands it over to the hard-throwing Carlin Pickens, who misses for ball 1.
Talk about 2 different looks. A lot of spin speed, and now all of a sudden a lot of pitch speed at 75 miles an hour.
Yeah, talk about closer. I mean, you're coming in one of the hardest throwing pitchers in all of college softball.
Gutierrez fouls it off. It's 1-1.
She's equivalent to 103, 104 miles an hour in MLB with the distance.
See, 24 appearances rather. This is her 6th relief appearance of the season. So she's been in this position before. I don't know quite like this with the game on the line against a top 10 team. There's a strike, bringing the gas. 1-2.
Well, and inherited 4 runners in those 6 innings. None of them have scored, which is pretty impressive.
1-2 to Gutierrez. Off speed, swung on and missed. 2 down here in the 7th.
So, and that's the pitch that she will get you to chase on, because she brings that velocity at 75 miles an hour, and then she's going to dump down this off speed in the low 60s, and she chases you right down into the dirt. This is an elite level pitcher because of that off speed pitch. Reminds me a lot of Yukiko Ueno of Japan, Jessica.
Strike one to Taylor Pleasance, who has never faced Pickens in her career. Pleasance is due 8 SEC games without a home run. She could tie it with 1 swing of the bat, but facing Carlin Pickens, the 0-1. LSU down to their final strike.
76 miles an hour. Smitty, you don't see that.
No. And on the Yakkertex, she's actually at 76.8. I'm going to round up to 77. Smoke.
1-2. Pickens winds and delivers, misses up high. 2-2 now to Pleasance.
Back-to-back changeups. Let's see what they bring here.
It's got to be something hard.
Yeah.
The 2-2. Tried to check her swing, could not. Down on strikes. Game 1 of the win. We love watching you pitch. What did you love about pitching in a game like this against a great LSU team?
You know coming out that they're going to be swinging, they're going to be taking their hacks, and you're probably not going to get a lot of strikeouts because they're just a really good hitting team. And so I just love competing like that, knowing that they're going to come in hacking, I'm going to come at them with my pitches, and it's just going to be a battle the whole game.
You got some amazing defense behind you as well. Your outfield, your infield. How much do you love pitching to contact, knowing what's behind you?
There's like nothing really to describe it. Just knowing that each one of them has my back, it's just incredible as a pitcher because it lets me be free and throw what I want to throw. And I mean, I just love them so much.
That's great. Peyton, how are you so good at throwing that curveball or coming inside to left-handed hitters? You own the inside corner of the plate today.
Thank you. I'm just not afraid of it. I mean, that's my go-to pitch, and I love throwing it. So if someone's on there, they're going to get it at one point or another. So you're going to have to be able to hit it because I'm going to throw it.
All right, can you give us some insight? What was going on in your mind coming out in that 7th inning, knowing you had a perfect game going, but also like the walkout music with the heavy metal? We've talked to you about it. What's going inside your head?
Jess, can I tell you, did you know you had a perfect game going?
No.
Because, okay, let's start there.
No. Didn't know that was happening, but sucks. But as soon as they play that song, like, They talked to me, I think it was Georgia when we played them, and they're like, yeah, like we told them to put your song on. I'm like, thank you. Like that just puts me in another level. And as soon as I hear that, like it just locks me in so much more and just really gets me in my groove because not only like does that get me fired up, but it gets the whole like stadium here fired up. So just hearing everybody behind me, I love it here and I love the fans.
I was fired up hearing it. Wait, so you're telling me you had no idea, how about like no hitter? You hadn't realized there was no hits you had given up?
No.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I was out there throwing.
Pure bliss.
That's it. Hey.
We had you rocking in the dugout. Most, pitchers are all solitude. No, you were just feeling it.
I love this game. Gotta have fun with it.
Peyton, ignorance is bliss. And it was a blissful night for you and Tennessee. Congratulations. What music should Jess and Michelle be adding to their playlist, by the way? What's your pump-up music?
Well, you heard it, Motorhead.
Okay.
Big fan of Nickelback.
Okay.
Big fan of Nickelback.
All right, there you
Love
go.
them.
We're big fans of you, Peyton.
Well,
Secret
thank
to
you.
Peyton's success. Congratulations to you, Peyton, and we'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you.
Peyton got